Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Bear HD, and today we have week 2 of the Hive Kakuna against Arf and the Amazonian Exeggutors. His team consists of Ferrothorn, Z status Latias, Clefable, Darmanitan, Mega Metacham, Gyarados Z, Heliolisk Z, Hitmontop, Gastrodon, Golurk, and Skuntank, while our team is unchanged with Mega Kangaskhan, Keldeo, Sylveon, Z Metagross, Gliscor, Salazzle, Z Serena, Aerodactyl Z, Z Status Curum, Umbreon, and Lantern. So, an issue with this matchup is that, well, I don't really have great switch-ins to Mega Metacham. And the only thing on my roster that seems to be very reliable would be Sylveon. However, it would require Kevia Berry for Poison Jab, since a high jump kick plus a Poison Jab would definitely kill Sylveon, even if I'm max HP, max defense. So I decided, instead of trying to have a switch in to Mega Metacham, I'd try to just out offense the opposing team, to where anything I have in on Metacham for the most part can either outspeed it or live a hit if it doesn't outspeed it, barring this first Pokemon, the Mega Kangaskhan, which speed ties. However, to try to remedy that situation, I have both the Fake Out and the Sucker Punch, in addition to Return and Power Up Punch, and just Jolly max speed to speed tie with the rest in attack, because overall it does do quite a number to his team. However, obviously the one big obstacle is that since I'm speed tying with Mega Metacham, it tosses up to a 50-50, and at +2, Sucker Punch does not kill unless I have some prior damage on it, and not just rocks, since it resists rocks and only takes about 6%. So I need to get maybe at least to for sure kill. I would like to be able to get at least 20% if I'm able to set up a power-up punch to get to +2, but if not, I need a Fake Out plus Sucker Punch. Still does around, I want to say it was like 60 to 70%. So it'll all depend on how the game flows and whether I'm using power-up punch, which is really only there for if I'm predicting Ferrothorn to come in, which I'm assuming could be a switch-in, since Iron Barbs to get me twice on double hitting. But also, it just, in general, since priority is nice and it gains a lot of power with the +2 after power-up punch, that I can actually just Sucker Punch everything faster and anything that's potentially scarfed. So that will be very useful if I can just get a power-up punch, and I want, as long as I can stay out of Fake Out range with Mega Metacham, which is 20 to 25%, then speed tie hopefully won't have to be an issue. But that's hopefully I'm not in a position where I feel like I have to risk that speed tie. And next we have Metagross, which is one of the two Mons that can actually take a hit from Metacham with max defense, a lot in HP, and then just some speed to outspeed Hitmontop, the other base 70 that he has. Clear Body ignores the Intimidates from Gyarados and Hitmontop, so I don't have to. So I can use that Adamant Nature to at least boost the attack on Meteor Mash. Hammer Arm with the Phytinium Z, which is for the it's for the Ferrothorn, but if Ferrothorn isn't switching in, I can still gauge damage off of like Gastrodon to see what set it is, since I'm convinced that is definitely coming. And then Explosion to hopefully get a big hit off, and then maybe leave something weakened, like especially like I mentioned, maybe Gastrodon, and even maybe just Gyarados if it wants to set up on me. So I mean, I wanted Explosion over Thunder Punch just because it had more utility across the whole team rather than just for Gyarados, and then Stealth Rock so I can get some residual damage, hopefully, to put everything in range of a +2. Mega Kangaskhan as a possibility. Then next we have a really bad set. I admit it, it's a really bad set. But since I'm not bringing defensive Sylveon, I really don't have a switch in that I feel comfortable to put in. So with a Yachi Berry, I could live the Ice Punch, and if I Acrobatics on that turn, if I'm in, then I can just easily knock out the Medicham. If it has prior damage, I can just go for an Earthquake. And I mean, in addition, if I really need to switch it in on anything that has an HP Ice or an Ice Beam, that could be useful too. Roost for some longevity, since I'm running a bit of HP and Impish Nature for at least some semblance of a switch into something. But I know that this isn't really going to take a whole lot of hits, but just in case. And then Agility, with the speed I'm at, outspeeds a Scarf Darmanitan. So it was enough. I didn't really want to outspeed anything else necessarily, because it would have taken away from the little bulk that I already put into this. So I don't know if he'll bring Scarf Darmanitan. However, if it is Scarf Darmanitan, I will live a hit, and I can even Agility up if maybe late game to kill the Darmanitan, as well as get some nice damage on anything else. Then next we have Keldeo, which I seem to said a million times. I'm kind of convinced that this isn't really even a good bring, because there's the Gyarados, there's the Gastrodon that already make me want 2 different hidden powers, and there's a Latias that are all viable switch-ins to Keldeo normally. However, I decided on a tanky set with Calm Mind, because it at least gave me a comfortable switch into maybe a little more powerful of a Darmanitan that I could then take a Flare Blitz and then kill it with Scald, being faster the next turn, since I'm speed prep to outspeed the Medicham, as well as get Revenge at Medicham, or and maybe even surprise Icy Wind and get some real damage off on Latias, since I have the Pyappa Berry for the Psychic defense. Most likely will come Keldeo's way, but then Scald, Secret Sword, Icy Wind covers everything except for Gyarados, really. But worst case, if I'm at +1, unless I think it's maybe, like, if it's max Spadef, then obviously Icy Wind won't. I think Scald actually did more, really, but Scald won't break a sub, but Secret Sword will. And then if it's max defense, then it's the other way around, where I can have Scald break the sub, or just use Icy Wind to make sure it can't Dragon Dance up and be faster than my team, since the next mon I'm bringing is my Scarfer in Sylveon, which is obviously slower than Gyarados, but at this speed it outspeeds every mon that isn't Scarfed on Orf's team. So it just outspeeds Latias, being the fastest mon, and Hyper Voice, Hidden Power Fire for the Ferrothorn, and then Baton Pass for in case I expect the Ferrothorn to come in. However, I'm not 100% confident that it will. And then Echoed Voice it's just filler, because it can be more powerful than Hyper Voice if I click it 3 times, and at 2 times it's just barely weaker than Hyper Voice. So that's more so for maybe like a Fable or Gastrodon that are able to take hits like hyper voices repeatedly, but then Echo Voice just gets stronger. So that can help a lot. And then lastly, we have Specs Salazzle, which destroys this team. I toyed with the set for a while with wanting it to be Nasty Plot, just because then it would over probably Dragon Pulse, since Nasty Plot like Z move with Poisonium Z would be devastating to the whole team. However, and could possibly get around a Gastrodon with Rindo Berry. However, I didn't really see where I was going to set up the Nasty Plot other than on Ferrothorn. And if Ferrothorn's in, I'd honestly rather just Fire Blast it, because then that makes Kangaskhan's job a lot easier, and also it opens up Sylveon to do a lot. So I mean, if there's no Ferrothorn, then I'm willing to, I'm okay with that rather than having a +2 Salazzle. And so hopefully it breaks the team to where Kangaskhan or Sylveon can finish up the game. And since that's the team, I will be right back with the battle. And we are here at team preview, where I see no Gyarados. That sticks out to me, as well as no Golurk, so that both Mega Kangaskhan and Salazzle, and then even Keldeo to a degree, can really shine and be able to break for each other, and hopefully then allow either Mega Kangaskhan or Scarf Sylveon to clean up the game. And since at least with the coverage that Salazzle has, I'm going to lead off with Salazzle. It doesn't allow Mega Medicham to get a kill straight off, and also it just prevents hazards, because the only hazard the hazard user is going to be Ferrothorn. And the only reason I would need to switch out is fearing a Scarfer, which I guess if Darmanitan, Heliolisk, or Latias leads off, I am willing to switch to Scout. However, then the way that ARF plays that should give me an indication of whether that Mon is Scarfed, if that's the way he leads. So we go in and we see that Latias is the lead of choice on ARF's part, and I'm going to switch out because I don't want to die to a psychic move that I'm sure I will die from. So I just go straight into Metagross and take the Psyshock. And since he stayed in, I'm thinking that he is probably Scarfed, but obviously that's not confirmed yet, so that just gives me rocks as Gastrodon comes in. So I'm just going to go straight for the Z move, because I just want to find out, is this Spadef, is this Fizdef? And from that damage, so Scald thankfully doesn't burn, from that damage I find out this is Fizdef. Like, it's completely physically defensive, which makes sense for if this is a switch into Keldeo, since the fighting move that Keldeo mostly uses hits on the physical side, and then obviously it's immune to the water stab. So makes perfect sense. But then that means this is not really as great of a switch into Salazzle, nor is it a great switch into Sylveon down the road. So that's good to note. And also, I'll resume right now. We see that it's leftover, so it's not Rindo Berry. So HP Grass will definitely KO it from Salazzle, which is the only Mon I have it on. And then obviously Scald is nice to know, and I can assume Ground Move, Recover, and then last slot could be Toxic, Clear Smog, but probably we'll find out later. So here I make what ends up being a costly play, but the reasoning, I'm going to go for Explosion here, and my reasoning is, at least to me, this doesn't, I would have, I guess in his position, just gone for another Scald expecting switch out, because I mean Scald can at worst burn the Keldeo if that's my switch in. It obviously hits super effectively on Gliscor and risks, in his mind, the Toxic Orb not going off, which I mean he doesn't know that I'm not Poison Heal, and then hits the Salazzle, and even can do some damage to the Sylveon to gauge a set. and then burn Kangaskhan. So to me, Scald, I don't think would be coming out, or I do think would be coming out because it allows for information. Then you get another round of leftovers and not a recover. So I just want to catch him off guard, go for the explosion to then just put it low so it lives at 11, but he goes for recover. So I just literally sack my Metagross, which is my best switch into a potentially Scarf Latias. And then I'm gonna just go into Salazzle. I mean, it screams HP Grass, but I'm willing to just go for HP Grass and see. So then the Latias comes in. I'm still assuming it's Scarfed. It goes for Defog. So unfortunately now rocks are gone. But then now I've revealed I'm not Poison Heal, but since this is an easy switch in for Ferrothorn, I'm gonna actually pull out the double into Salazzle and just go for the Fire Blast. I'm not messing around. I would love to just kill this Ferrothorn, but goes into Latias. Knows my switch in is now Gliscor, so makes a good play and goes for Ice Beam. It does a lot for Yachi Berry, but that's because I'm not super bulky. So since I know it's locked into Ice Beam, and I'm not fearing if it isn't locked because I have the Pyalpa Berry, so it gives me the switch into Keldeo, and since he switched out, I'm going to assume that it is for sure Scarfed. And since Gastrodon is in now, with the Calm Mind up, I know I don't do a whole lot of damage, but now I can scout to see if it's Toxic or if it's Clear Smog, because otherwise, Sub CM could be an issue. I wish I could have had Sub, but since I needed more coverage than I could even pack, I definitely could not fit Sub on or Taunt. So I want to Calm Mind up and maybe just weaken this so that I'd never have to click HP Grass anymore, and instead I can just do a ton of damage because you saw that Fire Blast did a ton to Latias since it is offensive. So I'm just going to go for another Calm Mind, as he's just going to go for the Toxic. So I do find out that the last slot is Toxic, and so now I know I can go for the Secret Sword, get some damage off. It did 58, but he's just going to try to recover stall this. But what I can do is make sure that this goes down and it does cost me my Keldeo, but I don't think I really need Keldeo in the long game, so I do get that Calm Mind up. So now I for sure 2-hit KO it with Secret Sword, and nothing wants to switch in on a +3 Keldeo. Even though I'm not very invested, it's going to do a lot. So Earth Power doesn't do much damage, but Toxic is going to kill me on the next turn. I'm going to get a kill no matter what with Secret Sword here. So Gastrodon and Keldeo do end up going down. And so now on the double down, I'm going to go into Sylveon to try to prevent the Medicham and Latias as he switches into Darmanitan, and I go for Baton Pass expecting the Ferrothorn originally, but since it didn't come in, I'm willing to go into my Kangaskhan, see that Ferrothorn is indeed the switch in, and I was willing to risk a Flare Blitz to Salazzle just because at this point I'm in the back, I'm giving my Metagross, so I really need to put on some pressure. So I get the Salazzle in, I'm going to click Fire Blast again. I really just want this gone, and it's chipping away. Latias cannot switch in, so now it's at 9%. So I mean, it cannot switch in anymore on me, and so I can just sack my Gliscor. It doesn't really do anything. It was a bad set anyway, so I don't need it. So now I go into Kangaskhan. He's fearing maybe Sucker Punch, Fake Out, whatever it may be. I'm not sure why Helios was a switch in, but I actually go for Power Up Punch because I assumed the Ferrothorn would come in, so then that +2 Power Up Punch would do a ton. And so now I don't know what this has. I go for Sucker Punch because Focus Blast could kill me since I don't have bulk. And I know that might be a little overcautious, just because I guess maybe T-Bolt could have been a player Volt Switch, which would not have put me in range of a Fake Out from Medicham, but Focus Blast for sure would, if not KO me. So I didn't want to mess with that, and I just Sucker Punch it to kill it. And so now, in comes Medicham. He Megas and Fakes Out. I don't want to take damage if I don't have to on the Salazzle or the Sylveon, so I take that. Now I have to decide. Do I risk the Speed Tie? Or do I just get damage off on this? Because if I do Sucker Punch, I have to get a crit to kill this. Otherwise, it's just going to kill me with the High Jump Kick right after, and it'll do a bunch of damage, but at this point, both Salazzle and Sylveon OHKO this, so I don't really care about getting damage on this. And if I do win the speed tie, then I kill this, and I think I actually might just win with this Kangaskhan, if not with the Sylveon. So if I had Metagross, I don't think I would risk this. Maybe, you know, if I hadn't exploded at the beginning and maybe got some more damage on things, but at this point I do decide I'm going to risk this speed tie, because if I do get it, I just win. Like, I don't see how I lose at this point, where if I do lose it, I'm still in a bad position like I would be if I had to switch, in all honesty. So I do risk the speed tie, and unfortunately I get kicked in the face for it. And that makes me believe I cannot win this anymore. So I go Salazzle, I Fire Blast, kill this. Now goes into Darmanitan, because he has no idea what my Sylveon set is, other than all I've done is Baton Pass, so I guess so it makes sense not to go into Latias, which he knows is faster. And I have no idea what set this is whatsoever. All I saw was it switch in and then switch out. So what I decide is I'm going to go to Sylveon, because Salazzle can kill both Latias and Ferrothorn, whereas both don't outspeed the Latias anyway. And with the Flare Blitz damage that or just like if it's Choice Scarf, it would probably need to Flare Blitz twice to be able to kill Sylveon in his mind, so I switch out. Goes for Earthquake actually, and reveals to be Life Orb. It does a ton because I'm offensive, and I just go for Hyper Voice because there's no way he's expecting it to be Scarf. And so I get enough damage to where Fire Blast kills. And so now I can go into my Salazzle, I Fire Blast, as long as I hit, which he switched out to Ferrothorn anyway, so I really could have had 2 chances, and so I at least limit this to a 2-0, since I'm not going to live this Psyshock. And unfortunately we are handed our first loss, which really sucked the way that the game went, because I basically threw away the Metagross, which was my best response to this Latias, which ended up being the biggest trouble, and I didn't value Metagross enough at the beginning when I really should have. And then obviously the speed tie sucks, but that's a 50-50, so I mean, I can't complain about that. It's, you know, just didn't go my way this time. And so hopefully we can bounce back from this. We're still 1-1 with a +3 differential, so that it doesn't mean we're in any bad shape whatsoever, since this is quite a competitive league, so can't win them all, but hopefully we can win the next one. And thanks for watching. Bye!